What's up, guys? So today we are doing part 2 of the how to program an Onyx tutorial. As you see on the screen now, we are exactly where we left off. This video we're going to be patching and kind of showing you guys how to use some of the parameter controllers on each fixture. And then next video we're going to be setting up our presets. So the first thing we want to actually do is go up and lock our workspace, because I forgot to do that at the end of last video. And the next thing I like to do is just go here and click on Onyx and just go ahead and hit save without content, and then YouTube series, and just save it. And then that is going to save what we've done. And then sometimes what I even like to do is go ahead and hit save without content again and name it show file starter and save it again. And then that way, whenever we want to start a new show file, we don't have to build all of this again and then split it up again. It's kind of just like a template that we just saved. So the next thing we're going to do is actually go ahead and start patching in some fixtures. And so if we click on the Onyx button here, and then go to patch, and then it'll bring us to this screen here. So we're going to be using 4 universes, but we're not going to use up all 4 universes. We're just going to split things up onto different universes. So this is going to be like a festival rig. So our front light is going to be some pose. So I'm pretty much, if you missed what I just did there, I went to Onyx patch and then click on this commands button and new fixture right here. That'll bring you to this screen here, which then we just want, if we know what fixtures we're looking for, we can just hit the search button and just type in relation 6 par. We're going to put 100 IP, 12 channel mode, and then auto patch. So now this is what we want to name it. So I'm going to just name it 6 par 100, and we're going to put 16. So we want to put 16 of these. That's how many. ID, we're going to just keep it on 1, universe 1, address 1, and then we can either hit apply to patch, but I just like to click over here and drag it just so I can visualize how many channels. So all those 6 par 100s are taking up 192 channels. So let's just go ahead and hit apply to patch. And then also on universe 1, which is going to be my front truss hang, the other thing we want to add is going to be some blinders. So I'm going to just type in sheds blinders, because I have sheds version of those. And I'm putting them in 4 channel, apply auto patch. I'm going to just name these blinders. And then we'll have 4 of those. And then we can just go ahead and plop them in. And apply to patch. So next, now that we've got our blinders and our front light patched in, let's move on to our second truss, or our mid-stage truss. That's not going to have too much on it. But what it is going to have is 6 bar 1000s. And then I like to run them in the mode 7, which is 75 channel. If I went to 8, it's 79 channel. But these other 2 channels I don't ever, or other 3 channels I don't ever use. So I'm going to do that, but I'm also going to hit this virtual dimmer on, and that's going to come handy in the next couple of videos. But I'm going to just go ahead and turn that on and hit auto patch. I'm going to go ahead and name it 6 bar 1000. And then we're going to put 4 of those on. We want universe, we want it on 2. So that is now taking up exactly 300 channels. And then we want to add starting unit, starting ID. We want it 200. Which then is saying that's the second truss. So if we go ahead and hit apply the patch. So now it's showing 200, 201, 202, 203 instead of 1, 2, 3. And it's now 201, 202, 203. The other thing I want to add to this is some sheds strobes. So we'll just go find those real quick. RGB flash, there it is. 24 channel mode. We want it virtual demo on and apply the patch, and we'll have 2 of those. We'll just name them strobes. And we'll put them on universe 2. 204 is correct. And then we'll just go ahead and plop them in there. Oh wait, we want 2 of them. There we go, and apply the patch. Like I said, because we are in the free version of Onyx right now, I have no Onyx hardware hooked up at the moment. Let me get rid of, there we go, get that lighting back. Like I said, we are in the free version of Onyx, so I have no Onyx hardware patched or plugged into this computer. So that is why if you check here, it says locked. It's because with the free version, you only get 1 universe free. But I'm separating it out into different universes. It's fine. But if I had like an ArtNet node that wasn't Onyx brand, I could only use one universe. I could use all the ports and set them all to universe 1, but you can only get 1 free universe. Just putting that out there. Alright, let's head on over to our back truss now. Let's go and get that. With that, I want to put some intimidator spot LED 450s and advanced. So we'll just add that. We'll add that as intimidator spots. We'll add that. We'll add 4 of those on universe 3, and we'll start or add 300 for our ID, and then we can plop those on in. But yeah, now that we've got our intimidator spots plopped on in here, let's add some sheds 19 by 15s. And then we want those on 24 channel mode, and I also want the virtual demo on, and we'll just name those as 19 by 15 washers. We'll just put, I've got 10 of them, so we'll just put 10 on universe 3, and we'll just go ahead and plop those into our free, which is taken up all the way to 300 channel, almost 300 channels, and hit apply. And there we go. Let's just say that's our rig. So we've got 6 pullers for front lights. We've got some blinders for audience light. Our mid truss is going to be some 6-bar 1000s and some of the shed strobes. For our back truss, we're going to have 4 intimidator spots and 10 sheds, 19 by 15 washers. That's just going to be our festival package for whatever this fake YouTube festival I'm building right now is. So now that we've got all of that patched, I want to talk quickly about the difference between an address and an ID number, because a lot of people get those confused. Think of the ID number as the fixture's name. That is what you're going to call it by. So if I'm calling fixture 1, it is going to be the first 6-par 100. If I'm calling fixture 301, that is going to be intimidator spot number 2, just because of that. That is its name. The address is kind of where it lives. So think of like if you're going to send a letter to someone, you write its name and you write the address. Where is this letter going to? That is the address of the fixture. Address is kind of like IP addresses, where they can't be the same address, but it's a little bit different. But if you guys are watching this, you probably know a little bit about DMX, such as you can only put 512 channels in one universe. Onyx will let me run up to 64 universes depending on what license key I have. So now that we've got this patched in, we can go and hit menu, or not patch. We can go over here, hit menu, and then if you see export patch, if you export this, it's going to save it as an XML file. Pretty much what that does is if you are working in Onyx and they send you an XML file for their patch, if you go to Onyx and hit patch and then go to import here, you can upload that file and then it'll just import their patch system right into yours, and you don't have to go in and do what we just did. But that is what that is how you export a patch and import a patch. But we just made our patch. So the next thing we're going to do is go over to our fixture presets here. And as you see, we've got fixtures now. So the way that Onyx likes to work is if it's not a grouped fixture, which means it's not like a pixel mappable fixture, each one of these squares is going to be a different fixture. So we got 6 point number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so on. But if you look here at our intimidator spots, no, not intimidator spots, our 6 bar 1000s, you'll see 6 bar 1000 main 6 bar 1000 number 1, and then it's group 1, group 2, group 3, group all the way up to group 12. That is because there's 12 individual pixels on one bar, and that is the whole fixture is by selecting that. If you want just one pixel, select that. If you want every other pixel, you can select every other pixel, just like that. But that is why if it's a grouped fixture, meaning it can do pixel mapping, then it is going to be by groups. And if it's not a group fixture, means it can't do pixel mapping or anything like that. It's just going to be one square is a fixture. So that is how we patch. But let's go ahead, and I do want to go ahead and kind of get a jump onto the next video into this one. So pretty much what we're going to do is I'm going to just take this one fixture and throw it into our 2D plan. We've got one fixture in our 2D plan. And the reason I did that is just so I want to show you guys down here, and these are how we change the parameters of the fixture. And then eventually we will dive into making a whole rig in the 2D plan, and you'll see that. But I just quickly threw this in here, just so I can see, just so you guys can see what it does. So pretty much if we click on a fixture, or if we add group, whenever we have groups made, if we click on a group, it'll grab all those fixtures. Down here, let me find my 2D plan again. Down here, you'll see we've got this little eye and intensity, strobe, and dim function. And we can click this little arrow, and it'll bring up a whole another menu. So, pretty much what this is allowing us to do is change our parameters. So if we want the light to turn on, now it's on. We can do center, which would be at 50%, and then we can tab down. Or if you're on an actual console, there's 4 encoders up top, the big encoders. Those correspond to these. The one thing I do like to go ahead and do is click this and go ahead and change it to maximum size, which then, because then it allows me to see full, center, and 0 the whole time, because sometimes I grab it and just click full just to get it instead of spinning the encoder wheel. So that is how we get the light to turn on and off. If we want it to strobe, we can do that here. The 2D plan does not show strobing, so you won't see it, but like if I had a fixture plugged up right now, it would be strobing. Let's just clear it. Call up fixture 1 again. Let's just go and put it back on. And then if we go on over to, we can click color. And this is where we can color mix our light. So we've got red, green, blue, white. We've got amber and UV, and then some presets that Onyx made. And then we've got color macro. But the first thing I'm going to do is just get rid of the amber UV, and then we can go ahead and let's just say we want no blue, and if we want the fixture to be red, we'll just take all the other colors out. So this way if we want yellow or if we want orange, we can, you know, oh my goodness, we can hit center and kind of duck down our green to make the orange we want. Here's a good tip for the warm white with a RGB fixture, RGBW. A good preset is start with 100% red, 50% green, no blue, and 100% white. On the visualizer, it looks like this tan, but it's a warm white, like a natural light look. So if you guys ever have been trying to figure out warm white, start off with 100% red, 50% green, 0% blue, 100% white. Just start with that and see what gets you. But if we go ahead and immediately throw a intimidator spot on our 2D plan as well. Now you can see this is going to be our intimidator spot. We can go ahead and turn it on, but now you see we have more controls. So we've got now have pan tilt. So if I want to see the beam, I can point it down and you can see the beam now. And this will move it left or right. I'm going to just keep it like there for now, and that works. On our color page, you'll see that now it is no longer like this fixture where we have color mixable things. This is a color wheel, so we've got preset colors, so we can do blue, yellow, pink, which is more like a purple on the actual fixture, green, red. This is more of a teal, and this is more of like an orange type deal. So that is how to patch fixtures, and kind of a start on the next video on how to actually kind of get into programming fixtures. And next video will, like I said, we'll talk about making presets and then starting to actually build a show. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful, and I will see you guys on the next one.